Hey guys, Camdyn here from LUT Pro. We all know what a GoPro is, and we all know that the shots are really tricky to get perfect. So in this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to work with your GoPro footage, and we'll be teaching you how to work with LUTs and tweaking the settings to get the awesome shots you've always wanted. Okay, so now we're in Premiere Pro, and this time you can see I've got two clips loaded up. I've got one clip on the left, and this clip's nice because it comes off the camera quite perfect, and it's perfectly exposed, so this one doesn't take too much work. But the clip on the right is a little bit blown out because of the sun, and might need a little bit more tweaking along the way. So what I'll be doing is I'll be guiding you step by step to editing both clips. So awesome, let's get started. So I'll grab the first clip. Let's start with the easy one just so we can get the hang of it. So I've dropped it in the timeline, and what I'll do now is I'll add an adjustment layer. So navigate over to New Item and hit Adjustment Layer, and then hit OK, and the adjustment layer will appear in your media library. So drag and drop the adjustment layer into the timeline and stretch it out to the length of your clip, and just stretching it out makes it apply to the whole clip. So now that we're done with that, that's all we need to do in the editing tab. So we can head over to the color panel. Okay, now that we're in the color tab, you can see that the layout's changed slightly. So what I've done is I've just opened up lumetri scopes on the left, and this is basically a graph that helps me keep track of the overall exposure. So at the top it represents the highlights, and at the bottom it represents the shadows, and in between is just the rest of the exposed shot. So I'll just use that to be keeping track of if I'm blowing out the image too much, and you'll see it changing as I add the LUTs. So now we've got our clip and our adjustment layer loaded up. So what we'll do is we'll add the LUT. So first I'll select my adjustment layer and head over to Creative on the right. And make sure it's not in basic correction because it has the same section, but it won't work as well and it'll kind of mess with your clip. So I'll start off in Creative and change the look, and what I'll hit is I'll hit Browse, and I'll navigate over to my LUT Pro Pack v2.0. So in the LUT Pro Pack we've got a few options for LUTs. What I'll do is I'll open up the Teal and Orange pack because I've been liking that one recently. I'll just grab Teal and Orange one and see how that one looks. Okay, cool. So you can see that it's changed quite a lot. The nice thing is the exposure is still fine, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to tweak one little thing in this shot. So what I'll do is I'll move it over to the intensity, and if it's too blown out like this, you can dial it back all the way to 0 and start from scratch and just move up a little bit until you get what you want. So I think I'm quite happy with about 60-70%. So I'll leave it around there. Looking around you can see it's still quite nice. One other little thing that I'll change is the white balance, because the whites in this image has gone quite orange and it's just not as clean. So what I'll do is I'll move over to basic correction, making sure to keep the adjustment layer still selected, and this time what I'll do is I'll go to our temperature and I'll just drag it down a little bit until I'm happy. I think 20% is roughly happy. So you can see now that the rocks are looking a lot better. Everything that is white has gotten a lot whiter, so it's just adding a lot more depth to the clip, and I'm quite happy with this how it is. So let's just have a quick playthrough. Okay, so now that we're happy with the first clip, we can start working on the second clip. So I'll just grab it from the media pool and drop it into our timeline. I'll grab the adjustment layer and do the same thing and stretch it out over the whole clip. And now we're just going to repeat the same process with the previous one. So we'll select our adjustment layer and head over to Creative. We'll change the look and head to Browse. I'm going to grab the same LUT, the Teal and Orange from LUT Pro, and hit Open. So straight away you can see that it's blown out and it's crazy and it's looking freaky. So what you can do is you just drop the intensity back to 0 and start from scratch. So we can just drag it up. I'm quite happy with around 50%. It looks quite nice, but it's not too blown out. If you head more than 50%, you can see it starts freaking out and blowing up. But different clips will work differently, so just see how it goes and tweak it as it works. So you can see now that the shadows are really deep. So what we'll do is we'll head over to basic correction and fix it up a little bit. So first I'm going to grab my shadows and just drag them up, lightening them a bit. That makes the shot look way better even now. One thing that helps with this situation is the contrast. So I'll grab the contrast and drop it just a tiny bit, and you can see that makes a crazy difference to the whole shot. I think one of the last things I'm going to do is just grab my temperature and drop it a tiny bit just to get that sky nice and blue. We can drop our highlights just a little bit. Around about there, I wouldn't drop it so much. Around about there, I'm pretty happy with this shot. Let's play back from the beginning and see how it looks. So you can see that tweaking the shadows and the highlights has retained a lot of the detail in the shadows, but it hasn't blown them out too much. And yeah, the whole clip looks really good in general. Thanks for watching today, guys. I hope you enjoyed our tutorial, and I hope you learned more about color grading with your GoPro footage. If you want to learn more about LUT Pro, go check it out in the link in the description. If you want to learn more about color grading in general, check out our YouTube channel. We've got a bunch of tutorial videos. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next one.